What's going on, guys? Hopefully, everybody had a great weekend, great Monday so far. Um, I know this is an impromptu live, and moving forward, I'm going to make it a goal to have these planned out so we can get some people on the Q and A's because a lot of times I'm just flying by the seat of my pants. And today I had a couple calls that got rescheduled, and I know it's been a couple weeks since I popped in and said hello and gave you guys something to think about. So I wanted to do that here today. I'll give it just like 10 seconds and then I'll jump in. So I got some questions on the post that I put in here. I think like middle part of last week where I talked about reframing your approach when it comes to nutrition. Oftentimes you see people or maybe yourself, you get so obsessed with losing weight where it becomes very black and white. Like, if I eat this, is this going to help me lose weight? Or if I eat this, is it going to cause me to gain weight? And that's a very, very unhealthy place to be when it comes to food and nutrition because people obsess over that. And I promise you, without going on a long rant, it doesn't end well if you're eating to lose weight and that's all you focus on and you disregard everything else. So what I want to talk about here is ways that you can become more conscious in your eating and how to 180 your approach and how you look at food and nutrition that we try to coach and teach our clients that might serve you in your journey as well. But as I was saying, if you hadn't seen that post, just to recap, like clients and people that are fit and stay fit and how they look at nutrition is much different than people who struggle. And what I mean by this is, I'm trying to think of the word to use. It's a Monday, I can't think of it. But they don't look at food, they have a better relationship with food. And they have a healthier relationship with food. And I know that takes time. It doesn't come easy, especially I was just talking to a woman on a call half hour ago who grew up and her mom was always on a diet, always trying the latest thing, and it caused her to have a very poor relationship in how she looked at nutrition because she grew up with her mom overweight and trying every fad diet quick fix that you can imagine. But what I mean by this is a lot of people that really struggle, they'll lose some weight and they gain it back. They'll lose some weight, they gain it back. They do well on their diet, they lose it, they gain it back because they take a vacation or whatever. Life happens, and they just look at food as very binary. Like, it's either going to help me lose weight or it's not. And because of that, you develop this pattern of looking at food as either good or bad, great or terrible. And that's not a healthy place in how to look at nutrition and how to look at food as fuel for your body. Those they're successful, their frame and when they look at nutrition or they look at food is not just about the physical changes or necessarily about losing weight or gaining weight, bad versus good. It's what I said, like, how will eating this impact my energy? How will this impact my strength? How will this impact my focus? How will this impact the productivity of my day? Like, we work with clients who have to work 8, 9, 10 hours. They have to make a lot of decisions. They have to be very productive in their careers. Some work in sales, so they control their own income, and they need to show up each day having the mental alertness and focus and productivity that they possibly can. And where I'm connecting these is like, if you're in the morning, if you are conscious in what you're doing, or if you're unconscious, let me use that as an example, and you have food that it really bloats you, well, it's going to be really hard to focus and have peak productivity when you're worried about your bloating the rest of the day, right? So when you look at food, just become more conscious and not looking at it as binary, like this is either going to help me lose weight or not, but like those other things that I mentioned in that post that you can refer to. Will this give me energy? Is this going to help me recover? Is this going to help my mental clarity, my focus, my productivity? Is this going to help me recover from my workouts? Is this going to give me energy to push as hard in my workouts as I possibly can? Those are the factors that matter. And the interesting thing is, like I said, the byproduct of that, if you focus and you look at food and nutrition and beverages in that sense, the byproduct is you will lose weight. Because if you're eating to optimize performance, optimize energy, optimize focus, you tend to make better food decisions overall, which ultimately is going to lead you to drop the weight that you want to. So that's the first thing. The second thing, to give you an actionable takeaway that you can take away from this to implement into your own life, is it's really this conversation of unconscious versus conscious eating and nutrition behavior. Oftentimes people really get in trouble, and one thing that we work with clients early on to have a paradigm shift is going from unconscious eating to conscious eating. What I mean by is unconscious eating is a lot of times people will grab and go. They won't think about it. They'll be like, oh, this is in the cupboard, I'm just going to grab it. They eat on the run. They just grab something without really putting much thought or thinking in it. It's because, why is because 95, I believe it's like, I read a book, like 95% of our decisions every day are like on autopilot. It's autonomy. Like, you ever drive somewhere and 15 minutes later you're there and you're like, gosh, I don't even remember like driving here, because you're zoned out. You've done it so many times before. So a lot of people unconsciously make bad food decisions, and sometimes they recognize it, but oftentimes they don't. They just grab what's convenient. They've always done something a certain way. So boom, pattern interruption is we have to force them to become conscious of their decisions first and foremost. Now, there's different ways that you can become conscious of your decisions. So just a couple examples. It might just be grabbing a simple notepad, getting a notebook, and writing down everything you're eating throughout the day. Don't even change anything. Don't even focus on a diet or, eating this, eating that. Just become conscious, and every time you eat something or drink something, just write it down. That will force you to become more conscious. Or another thing that I like to use and abuse in my life is on the iPhone. I'm not sure what it is on the Android, but using the Notes app on your phone. Writing things down there. Just write what you have, and don't worry about the calories or the protein or anything. Just simply track it. Like if you just write it down, you will force you to become more conscious of it. Now, when clients come into our program, how we take that to a even higher level is in some way, shape, or form. It depends on the client, what fits their lifestyle, because we do tailored coaching. We don't just jam everybody in a set methodology. We want to choose a path that suits their life and lifestyle. But in some way, shape, or form, we're going to oversee their nutrition and what they're doing on a daily basis. We know when, what, how much they're having in real time every single day. That obviously locks in a great deal of accountability, but that's what allows us to help them and coach them and make adjustments and take the time to actually explain the why behind what we're doing, because we want to get every client to the spot where they know how to confidently do the nutrition part themselves and make this whole thing sustainable. So when someone's looking at what you're doing and you're also looking at it as well, you start to become more conscious of your nutrition behavior by simply tracking it. And I know for some of you, you're like, oh, Bo, I'm too busy. I can't track. I don't have time for this. It's like, yes, you do. It's not that hard. And like I said, you don't even need to worry. I'm not even saying like, I don't know, like MyFitnessPal or, setting your macros and worry about protein, fats, and carbs. I'm just simply tracking what you're eating. Not that hard. Less than 2 minutes a day to chicken scratch it down. If you don't have 2 minutes, you have a time management issue, right? Like real talk. So that's how I would first become conscious. Instead of giving you 1,000 different things to do, is just write down in your phone, on notes in your phone, or just a sheet of paper. Just every time you eat something, just write it down. Oh, I had oatmeal for breakfast. I had a protein bar at 10 a.m. Just do that, and you'll become more conscious of your food decisions, which the only way you can improve is become conscious of something. If you're making unconscious habits or unconscious behavior, it's impossible to get better at it or create awareness around what you're doing. Okay? So, long-winded, went 9 minutes here, but like I said, two things, and I don't want to give you 10 different things to focus on, but I would work really hard on changing your perspective and how you look at food. Food is fuel for your body. So instead of asking you, is this advantageous or disadvantageous as far as weight loss goes, and every time you look at food, you look at it through that lens, change that and ask yourself, is this going to give me energy? Is this going to help my focus and productivity? Is this going to help my gut health? Is this going to help me perform better in my workout or at work? Is this going to help me recover better and be fuel for my muscles and recovery so I can build, repair, and grow lean muscle mass? Ask yourself those questions versus what I mentioned first, just, hey, lose weight or not. like bad food, good food. Like that's how you develop that unhealthy pattern of behavior, which is not ideal or optimal in losing weight and where you want to be. And if you look at food like that, as I said, I promise you the byproduct of that is over time, if that's how you look at food and you develop that approach and that's through which the lens you look at nutrition, as a byproduct of that, you'll end up losing weight in the long run. Okay? Because with that, you'll tend to eat better food decisions. Because if you're thinking like, okay, if I have pancakes for breakfast or if I have, eggs and toast, which ones are probably going to be easier for my stomach and gut health to digest? Probably the eggs and toast, right? Than pancakes with a whole bunch of maple syrup and butter. So you probably go with the eggs and toast, and so you can see how this plays out. The second thing, like I mentioned, is how if you continue to eat unconsciously and you're not aware of this, you're not going to get anywhere. So one of the first things you got to do is become more conscious of your eating, right? It's how you attack and get better and see progress in anything in your life. So whether that's writing it down, tracking it in your phone, whatever. Like obviously when someone comes into our program, they become very conscious very quick because they know in real time exactly what they're doing and we see it. So that said, I'll pause there because the neighbor's like mowing and it's getting super, super loud, but hopefully that's helpful. Any questions, drop them in the comments below. And like I said, moving forward, I want to have some set times. I'll ask you guys the topics. Like I'm just kind of going off a whim here to feel what's important, what could I do to add value and try to help you guys out. But I don't always know. I mean, it's you guys that need help. So I'll ask you to let me know and what's most beneficial for you. So every time I speak, I know I talk about this, but whether it's reading a book or listening to me or whatever you do in life, just take one or two nuggets away from a 12-minute rant here that you can implement in your life. And over the long run, the compounding effect of that is that you'll make progress, you'll get better, and you'll have a better tomorrow than you do today. So that said, have a great week. Probably see you later this week. Peace. Any questions, let me know. We'll see you guys.